Have you ever seen an alpha male go silent when a sigma walks into the room? It's not about fear in the way most people understand it. It's not loud. It's not obvious. It's quiet, like a shadow that changes the whole mood without saying a word. People think alphas are at the top. They lead the pack, they dominate, they control. But here's the thing. What happens when someone shows up who doesn't play the game at all? Someone who isn't even interested in winning because he's not even trying? That's the sigma, and that's what makes him a threat. The sigma doesn't care about hierarchy. He doesn't want attention. He's not chasing respect. And yet people give it to him, naturally, and that's where things start to shift. Alpha males who are used to being the center of everything suddenly feel something they don't usually feel. Uneasy. This isn't just a clash of personalities. It's a deeper conflict. One that comes from how each type views power, identity, and freedom. And in that space, the alpha starts to lose ground. Not because the sigma fights harder, but because he doesn't fight at all. He just is. In this video, we'll break down exactly why sigma males unsettle alpha males. We'll look at how sigmas carry themselves, how they think, and why that quiet power feels so loud to the ones who are used to leading. If you've ever felt out of place in social games, but still hold influence without trying, you might see yourself in this. And if you've ever wondered why people who seem confident get uncomfortable around you, this might explain why. Let's get into it. 1. Sigmas don't crave approval. Alpha males need to be seen. Their confidence depends on how others react. Applause, respect, dominance. These things fuel their identity. It's not fake, but it is external. They stay powerful by staying visible. And they like it that way. Sigmas are different. They don't chase any of that. They stay under the radar. They don't seek validation. They don't care who notices. And somehow, people still notice. That's what makes alphas uncomfortable. They see someone who doesn't try to impress anyone, and yet commands attention. It flips the alpha's whole world upside down. To the alpha, this is unfamiliar. It's not a challenge, he understands. The sigma isn't trying to climb the ladder. He's not even in the same building. That kind of freedom, real, raw independence, scares people who need a crowd to feel strong, because it shows another path. A path where power isn't about followers, it's about self-control. The sigma doesn't need the system. He moves through it like a ghost, doesn't demand anything, doesn't compete. He just exists, but he does it so well that people can't ignore him. And that kind of presence, the kind you don't even try to create, is more powerful than loud dominance. For the alpha, that's a quiet threat. Not because the sigma wants to lead, but because he proves you don't have to. And that shakes the alpha's sense of control. 2. Sigmas can't be predicted. Alpha males are planners. They know the game. They lead by understanding how people work. Every move is calculated. Every word has a reason. That's how they stay ahead. But sigmas, they don't play that game. They don't follow any pattern. One day they're all in, the next they disappear. Not to be mysterious, just because that's how they are. Their moves aren't for show. They're based on instinct, and that makes them impossible to predict. And that unpredictability throws alphas off. You can't control what you can't figure out. You can't lead someone who doesn't care to follow. That breaks the alpha's rhythm. It forces him to think twice. That hesitation, just a second of doubt, is enough to change the whole dynamic. The sigma's strength isn't in being clever, it's in being real. He doesn't explain, doesn't justify, he just moves. And somehow it works. To people used to order, that kind of freedom looks like chaos. But it's not. It's confidence without needing to show it. To the alpha, that's threatening. Because he can't predict the sigma. He can't control the environment. And when he's not in control, he loses his edge. The sigma isn't trying to win. He's just not playing. And that's what makes him dangerous. You can't beat someone who doesn't care about beating you. 3. Sigmas stay calm under pressure. Alpha males are used to being in charge. When something goes wrong, they react fast. They lead from the front. But that also means they can be emotional under pressure. They want to fix things quickly. And that need to act can sometimes look like panic. Sigmas are different. They don't rush. They sit with the moment. They observe first, then they move. That calm energy can feel like stillness, but it's not weakness, it's control. And that kind of control is rare. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, but it's solid. People feel it. Alphas, who are used to stepping in and taking over, don't always know how to respond to someone who stays still when everyone else is moving. It messes with the natural order. They expect challenge or submission. Sigmas give them neither. And that quiet calm can be intimidating because it shows confidence without needing attention. The Sigma doesn't speak to be heard. He speaks when it matters. And when he doesn't, his silence says more than most people's words. In high-pressure moments, Alphas try to lead. Sigmas just stay grounded. That presence can shift the whole room, and that's when people start turning toward the Sigma. Not because he asked, but because they trust someone who doesn't flinch. 4. Sigmas don't compete and still win. Alpha males are built for competition. They rise through challenges. They fight for the top spot. That's how they gain respect. It's a constant climb, and they thrive in it. Sigmas don't care about the climb. They don't compete. They don't measure success by beating someone else. They do their own thing, and somehow, without trying, they end up ahead. That's what really gets to the alpha. It's confusing. How does someone who's not playing still win? The answer is simple. Sigmas define success for themselves. They're not chasing money, power, or admiration. They move toward what feels right. That clarity gives them an edge. Because while everyone's focused on the fight, the Sigma is focused on freedom. This lack of competition can make alpha males feel lost. They can't size him up. They can't push him. And when they try, he doesn't push back. He just steps aside. And that makes him hard to beat, because he's not blocking the path, he's walking a different one. And here's the twist. The more the Sigma avoids the fight, the more people respect him. That's what flips the power dynamic. The Sigma becomes a quiet leader, not by force, but by presence. And in a world full of competition, the man who doesn't need to compete often ends up standing tallest. 5. Sigmas reflect what alphas hide. Alpha males have strong personas. They show confidence, control, authority, but like anyone, they have doubts, insecurities, fears they don't talk about. They bury them deep and cover them with strength. Sigmas don't pretend. They've already faced their doubts. They've made peace with being alone. They've sat in silence long enough to know what's real and what's not. That self-awareness gives them a quiet power. They don't need to prove anything. They just are. When an alpha sees that, it can feel like a mirror, a reflection of the things he's avoiding. He sees someone who doesn't fake anything, and that makes him question the mask he wears. It's uncomfortable, because it shows him the difference between real and performed confidence. The Sigma isn't trying to expose anyone, but just by being himself, he does. His calm shines a light on other people's noise. His honesty makes others feel fake, and that's not easy to face. So it's not that Sigmas say something that makes alphas uncomfortable. It's that their presence reveals what's missing, and that feeling, that quiet exposure, is more unsettling than any argument, because it shows that strength isn't about control. It's about knowing yourself, and that's a kind of strength many people haven't built yet. Sigma males don't scare alpha males because they're louder or stronger. They scare them because they're still, calm, independent, and real. They don't follow the rules. They don't fight for power. And yet, people follow them anyway. If you saw yourself in any of this, you're probably more Sigma than you think. And that's something rare in this world. If you found this video honest and useful, subscribe to the channel. It helps more than you know. And if you've ever seen this quiet tension play out in real life, drop a comment below. I'd like to hear your take. Thanks for watching.